Hello everyone, this is Bayam with another tutorial about geometry node. I want to make series about geometry node, and this video specialized just for these two node edge path to curves and shortest edge path. I don't want to cover all basic of Blender or geometry node. I simply thinking you maybe already know about of each of them, about basic of geometry and Blender. I simply add a plate and bring geometry node, add edge paths to curve, and by connecting the shortest edge to path, I wanna show you the power of this two node in this video, in this short video. But not so short, a little long. I connect the index, I bring the index node and connect it to the shortest edge to paths, and bring the compare node just for seeing how this node is working in first. Just changing the compare node to the integer and equal, and now you can see we have a little distortion, but our plates don't have any more vertex. We need more vertex to see the power of this node. For this reason, I simply add a grid node, and now you can see the power of this node. But in this video, we don't cover these basics. We are going further and see what we can do with these nodes. I adding the random value in the end cost. For C, we are selecting the random value of vertex in the plate, and also I want to have a more control. I was starting with 2 points. For this reason, I bring Boolean map and changing for OR, and duplicating the equal map and connecting the index also in the equal, and connecting to the Boolean map. By changing this, we have maybe randomly selecting vertex for starting. How we can see we are from start, and we are ending from which points. Sorry for my English. For this reason, by trim curve, you can say you see this, but we are using Blender. Blender is we are 3D artist and using Blender. Blender is a 3D software. For this reason, I simply bring Equisphere, and as you can see the trim curve, by using the trim curve and adjusting this two node, and also we have used another node, but the main node is edge to path and shortest edge paths. As you can see, we can randomly selecting some vertex, and by trim curve we are animating, or maybe another work as you can see, or maybe as you wish to use this. Now, if we, I want to more control for this reason, and use more of this and go further. For this reason, I bring set position node to positioning the edge point and vectorally extruding, or from inside or outside. For this reason, I bring set position, and when we bring set position, for this reason, for the offset, I simply add sphere parameter, and by trim curve you can have maybe a good view. Maybe you like this, but I want to go further and make a better result for this. And a result that I want, I simply bring a math, simple math, and changing to the multiply. And by multiply, you can extrude them, but you can't extrude by vectorally for each of the equisphere point. To have, if you want to extrude each point vectorally, maybe if you learn math, maybe you know vector. Vector is a direction of the point, or a line, For this reason, I bring a vector math and add the multiply and also capture attribute normal, and changing and connecting the normal to the capture attribute and capture attribute to the multiply, but now to the multiply. For to can see better in the 3D or render, we need to have changing the curve to the mesh. For this reason, I changing the curve to mesh, bring the curve to mesh node. And so sorry, I forgot to changing the capture attribute for vector. I want to vectorally connecting, vectorally extruding. For this reason, I have to change the capture attribute to the vector and point one vector to vectorally extruding each point of this equisphere. And I use another set position just to set the position of each point of these lines, not the equisphere, each point of these lines, and have the distortion, maybe noise for each of this line. And if I bring the vector math and selecting the scale, we have when we changing the scale, we have the displacement or displace our mesh. But if we also use with subtract to 0.5 value, we can use it easily and scale it. But I want to use sphere parameter again in scales, and if maybe you can see the result, but if you bring the resample curve, you can see this is the result of the each curve that we resample and make a more vertex for each of these points. And also we can change the number of these curves by changing the vertex of our main equisphere. Also with these two equals that connected with index in the first shortest edge path, we can adjusting our selected points, and by trim curve we have a nicely and smooth shape of our mesh or our scene. For the as you can see, this is like a smooth, but I use rectangular void. This is smooth. I just set position and unplug the set position to unselect the set position to have a rectangular shape for each of this curve. Now I want to show you how to changing the from inside, extruding from inside to the outside to the inside. But simply I want to arrange the scene to each person can have a better view. For this reason, as you can see, we have a lot of vertex, we have overlapping these vectors. I changing the mesh to the curve and again curve to the mesh, and in between of these nodes I use a merge vertex that merging the vertex. As you can see, this is merging the vertex, and maybe it's better and faster rendering. We can render faster, and for this reason I just use remove a nearest vertex, I think. And by changing the noise texture, you can have a randomly view of your work, and trim curve show you your nicely your action or your scene. As I say, I want to show you the changing the extrusion of each point from inside to the outside. That thing, maybe that math that capture the attribute from spline or is connecting to the spline, changing the direction and from extrude from inside to the outside, and you can have your own shape or own extrusion or own animation by changing the value of the mat that connected with Spline Pro. You can also use this, but I want to complete this video with another video, and you have a better result about how to use a geometry node. Have a good day.